Well, let me tell you one thing now. A while we drawn in secret fields of thought. Savitri is, see this description in this first in these sentences is to be read at two different levels. Although language at times seems to say that Savitri is remembering her childhood, how she was born, how she grew up in the palace, how she learned arts and craft and horse riding and chariot driving and all that kind of a thing. All that thing is there, and how she met Satyavan, that is there. But actual thing is Savitri is not waking in that sense. Savitri is waking from her deep sleep of somnolence when she entered into the earth. The moment Satyavan plunged into the void, Savitri also entered in, but she was in a state of, she lay in the earth's original somnolence. She lay in the earth's original somnolence, in the inconscient state of unawareness. She was heedless, she was careless, she was not recognizing what she has to do. So through the long years, Savitri had to make a progress, and that is what she is now remembering here. Her mind moved in many imaged past that lived again and saw its end approach. So the entire past is coming like a cinematographic picture in front of her. It is not her childhood, her youth, and her discovery of love and that kind of a thing, but the entire evolutionary past is what Savitri is surveying. Now, many imaged past that lived, dying, it lived imperishable in her, transient, invisible, a faithful ghost of self, it bore the future on its phantom breast. So, as I was saying, this description is actually the description of evolutionary Savitri. So you have to read this passage parallelly at two levels. The physical as it is happening in her current life, and as it has been happening through the long periods of evolutionary stages. So otherwise this has no meaning, you see. Many imaged past is very clear. Many imaged past is not going to happen in the last 16 years. Savitri at this age, maybe around 20 years or so, she is married and all that thing. And she is not going to remain many imaged past, you see. So this is the past of her previous birth also, previous existence. Then lived again and saw its end approach. Now she says that yes, it's coming to an end. Satyavan, that this was the day when Satyavan must die. She sees in it the end of that past coming to an end. She sees that past coming to an end. Dying, it lived imperishably. Now, many image past. What could be this past? In fact, we have some kind of a little description in the second sentence. Along the fleeting events, far backward trail. It is not going to be the period of last 16 years of life of Savitri. Far backward trail. Regress the stream of the insistent hour, and the bank of the mysterious flood on the bank of the stream of consciousness is going. This is the stream of consciousness which is going. Flood and the banks of the mysterious flood. People with well-loved forms now seen, people well-loved forms now seen no more. Well, it is not that Savitri was living in the palace and she was seeing beautiful people all around, her friends and colleagues and all that kind of thing, and now in the hermitage she does not see them. It is not that. It is actually the things which are happening in the past, you see. People lived, now seen no more. And subtle, she says now, subtle images of things. So that makes it clear that it is not her immediate life. Subtle images of things that were her witness spirit. So actually it is a witness spirit which is revealing the entire evolutionary past life of Savitri. Now, all that she once had hoped and dreamed and been flew past her, eagle wing, through memory skies. You see, this is not a question of again last 16 years. It corresponds to eagle wing with strong, powerful wings which can go through ages and ages and ages. That is the kind of an eagle, you see. Eagle wing, powerful, strong wing. All that she once had hoped and dreamed and been flew past her eagle wing through memory sky as in a many-hued, flaming inner dawn. So this is certainly the picture of her previous past. Her life's broad highways and the sweet bypass. No, these are not the highways and bypass in Madra, where Savitri grew up. They are now in the historical scene of the evolution itself. See. Her life's broad highway and sweet bypass lay mapped to her sun clear recording fumes from the bright country of her childhood days. Now, although he says like this childhood is the beginning of Savitri coming into earth. That is the childhood, not in Madra. This is it. From the bright country of her childhood days and the blue mountains of a soaring youth, she is going up. You see, that is what we are going. And the paradise grows of peacock wings of love, meeting of Satyavan Savitri. I mean, that is the immediate context. But paradise grows and peacock wings of love, that is Satyavan who is trapped in the fields of death, you see, in the hands of death. And the paradise grows of love. To joy clutch under the silent shadow of doom. In a last turn where heaven raced with hell. Well, this is the decisive moment of Satyavan's death. That is the last moment. 12 passionate months led in a day of faith. Now these 12 passionate months, these are not really 12, these are eons and eons. These are eons and eons, yugas and yugas and kalpas, you see. They are coming to this particular moment in a day of fate. Fate, it is not only the working of the inconscient nature, all the cosmic forces, the divine forces, the cosmic forces, the inconscient forces, they simultaneously working together. It is that which constitutes fate, the individual and the universal, and also the transcendental forces coming into picture. That is what constitutes fate. Fate is not only night and all that. It is the totality of the operations here in the dynamics of life. That is what constitutes fate, you see. Now, many huge images, broad highways, and subtle images, I feel this is a reference to the earlier stages of evolution. In the traditional sense, this would mean bright, this is a well-loved form seen no more, and bright people and all that kind of a thing. These belong to the early stages of evolution. If you go by the theory of evolution as given in the Purana, the 10 avatars, then this whole period which is described here in this sentence, I would connect it with the 4 first avatars of Vishnu: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha. These are the first 4 avatars of Vishnu in the Krita or Satya Yuga. So it is that Savitri saying, Matsya avatar, the Vishnu has come as a fish. Vishnu has come here as a tortoise or a turtle. Vishnu has come here as a boar, Varaha. Vishnu has come here half lion, half man. Savitri is reviewing the entire past of that kind of a thing, and she is remembering subtle images of things that were, all those things. She is remembering the whole thing today. Now the transition at the end of these 4 avatars is the arrival of man. The new Manvantara begins with that. The arrival of Rama, as I've been saying, starts with that, you see, Krita Yuga. First is Satya Yuga, then this Rama's avatarhood, then comes Krishna in Dwapara Yuga. In Dwapara Yuga, 2 avatars, and then Kali Yuga, last 1 avatar received. So, Savitri's awakening, coming out of her original somnolence, happens with the arrival of the mental being. That is the transition period which is marked by the presence of Rama as avatar. Previous to that, we had those 4 avatars. Let me quickly tell you something about that. You see, in the beginning, there was only one small fish. But then the first Manu, first man, each yuga has its own Manu. First Manu, the fish approached him, Manu, and the fish told him, take me to a pond. It was a small place, you see. He took the fish to the pond. And then the fish grew and grew and grew. The pond was insufficient. The fish told him finally, take me to the ocean. Manu took him to the ocean. And the fish grew and grew and grew. Now, according to the story, Manu saved the fish. So, Manu was rewarded by this fish that after the pralaya, you will come and stay here. You stay here after pralaya, next cycle, you come here and stay. So, it was the fish which gave him that thing. Vishnu as Matsya fisher rescued the first man, Manu. He, along with the 7 sages, the Vedas, were hidden by a demon, and Matsya rescued them from him. So, the 7 sages and Manu and the Vedas were saved by this fish at that time, you see. And that completes the first avatarhood. So, Savitri is remembering all those things, you say, transitions. See. Then comes the time of, there was a quarrel between the demons and the gods. And there was the event of churning of the ocean to see what kind of prizes, gifts one can get from the ocean of life. Ocean. So, Mount Mandara, the traditional Mount of Mandara, was made the churning rod. And serpent Vasuki was made the rope to churn the rod, you see, churning rod, you see. And to give support to that churning rod in the ocean, Vishnu became Kurma, turtle or tortoise. So, on the head of tortoise, the churning rod was there, and they started churning the ocean. Out of that, 14 peasants came out of it, you see, 14. And then also came out Kaustuba, many other things, all these ratnas are there, which came out, 14. Now, also came out at that time from that halal, poison. Now, who is going to take that poison? It was Shiva, who opted to drink that poison which came out of the cherry. And therefore, because of that poison, his throat became blue, and he is called blue-throated. We got in Savitri, blue-throated, or Neelakantha, as the tradition says. And then when Amruta came, that is nectar of immortality, that nectar of immortality was seized first by the demons. It was in their possession. Now, if the demons would have taken that nectar of immortality, that Amruta, they would have become immortal and gods would have lost everything. So, Vishnu played a trick and somehow managed to get that Amruta from the demons and give it to the gods. Mohini, as you call it, see. He gave it to gods, you see, and the gods have remained immortal. And one by one, then the demons were removed. This is what happened in the earlier cycles of evolution. As I said earlier, Pashu, Pramatha, Pishacha, Rakshasa, Asura, all these things were there. So they started going away. So that is how Amruta was recovered and given to the gods, you see. That was in the second avatarhood. In the third avatarhood, Varaha, one of the demons, had taken full possession of the earth completely. And the gods were worried about the earth. Bhu Devi, she is lost. This goddess earth is lost. It is in the possession of demons. Therefore, they prayed to Brahma to do something about this Bhu Devi, Brahma. And then came Vishnu as the Varaha, the boar, and he took away that boar, that earth from the demon, which is thus lifted up and kept away from them. So that is the third avatarhood. Then the fourth avatar, the demon who had been killed by Varaha, his brother, he took a revenge on God Vishnu, and he engaged himself in great tapasya, and he wanted a boon from Brahma. Brahma has to give a boon. And he says, I want to be immortal, not to be killed by anybody. Brahma says, I'm sorry, I can't give that boon, because I am myself, I am not immortal in that sense. With the pralaya, I also disappear. So I am not immortal, I can't give that boon. You can ask something else. So this man became a little clever. He says, I should not be killed by somebody who is born of a woman. I should not be killed by somebody who is breathing, doing this, that kind of a thing, etc., etc. Brahma said, okay, all right. But when the moment of death came, then he came out. I should be born here, there, like that, to be killed by it. I should be born dead on the lap of somebody like that. So there was a pillar, and then it is out of that pillar, Narasimha, the half lion, half man, came out. He took this demon on his lap and tore him apart. You see. That is how he was killed, you see. And that happened because the son of this demon, Prahlada, was a great worshipper of Vishnu. Great worshipper of Vishnu. The boy Prahlada was a great worshipper of Vishnu. And Prahlada was tortured by his father because he was worshipping his enemy. You see, he was tortured by his father. And one day his father asked him, do you think that there is God in this pillar? Prahlad said, yes, he is there. And he came out of that pillar as Nasima and killed his father. So the entire pageants of that historical process, Savitri is viewing here, and the subtle images of things that were her witness spirit stood striving, reviewing. The entire, if you go by the historical account, well, these are kind of figurative description, but this is what it means that. So the Savitri actually right in the very first canto, first section here, is reviewing the entire past year and moving forward. And then the race is such of all the eons that these 12 months gathered in a single day of fate. The 365th line is, as we have been seeing it. Well, that is a little background. We see some of these paintings of Bhutan.